If a 2-day-old newborn is left on your doorstep, for you to give it a home, what do you do? We have a fire station that will take the baby and do all the necessary stuff to find the baby a home. I would call the police. Call the police as well as an ambulance, get the baby wrapped in some warm blanket. Life is no Disney movie. There has to be a birth certificate or at least an official adoption needs to take place for the baby to get citizenship, personhood, etc. I'm a single professional man, so I move in with 2 other professional men and raise the baby. Call the police because it's illegal to just abandon a baby at a random house. And this time of year it would be 911 because an ambulance would also be needed because it's winter and it's freezing out. Well, I'm call the cops. At first I was gonna say, well, obviously I'm gonna check said BB, give it food if it needs it cause I'm a mom. Like, what if someone strapped a bomb to the baby? Or is this strictly a non-bomb baby? I would call 911. As a black man who lives in the USA, I'm going to quote, The Boondocks 2005 SO3E14 The Color Ruckus, that's exactly what I need, a goddamn white baby kidnapping charge I'm good ha. Take it inside. Call 911. Tell the dog to stop licking the baby. Make sure it was okay. Reiterate to the dog that the baby isn't to be licked. Try to make sure the baby was warm and fed. Yell at the dog to stop licking the baby. Take the baby's temperature to make sure Leela stop licking the baby. Stop it, just back up. Seriously, we get it, you like the baby, we all get it. Comfort the baby from all the yelling. I can't take care of the baby all by myself as a single man in the military. I would contact authorities immediately. Also be horrified. Can barely care for myself, the child is doomed if I don't give it away. Is this the beginning to a Harry Potter reboot? Turn it into CPS or whatever program exists that takes in abandoned infants. Call the police. Lol, ain't here for no movie shit, I can't afford a baby. Bring inside and call the police, keep it warm and feed it. In a perfect world I'd raise it to the world's greatest kung fu master. Call the police or go to a hospital. I don't live anywhere near a hospital or a firehouse, so leaving a baby in my doorstep at 36C that is doing now would be deliberately and probably a neighbor. Edit. Apparently people think that I would grab a random baby left on my doorstep and take it to the hospital on my bike. I guess. I thought it was common sense to call the ambulance. Take it next door to the mother of 4 with grandchildren whose husband is a cop, not the shitty kind. I don't know what do for an infant. They should just leave the baby over there in the first place. Playful face. Immediately call an ambulance. It's freezing cold outside, the baby would need medical attention. Then most likely get in contact with the police for what would be considered attempted murder. Then therapy probably. I'd call the police, but immediately do whatever paperwork is required to become a foster parent and eventually adopt. As someone who has dealt with infertility, I couldn't overlook an opportunity like this. Unless it's a kitten, police. In America call police. In Indonesia, that's where my wife is from, we're raising the baby. Child services. If some reason I wanted to stay completely anonymous, there's designated child abandonment areas, like hospitals. I thought you were supposed to bring them to a fire station. This isn't a Disney fantasy. I'm calling the cops, they're taking this kid off my hands. I'm not adopting this as my own. I can barely support myself. In reality, social services would be involved and the baby would likely be adopted by someone via the route. But that's a boring answer. Let's assume that's not how it works. Would I keep and care for the baby? 5 years ago I would have said yes. But I had my own accidental 3rd child and don't think I could give a 4th child a good family. This house has all the kids we can handle. I would find it another home. Learn it to eat spinach, then treat it as if it was me own son. Take it immediately to the fire station or the nearest hospital. Check for a tail in case it's mine. It followed me home, can I keep it? What kind of question is it? Take it home, what else would you do? Let it freeze outside? Don't open the door. Ask Reddit what to do, and go with whatever top voted comment says. Inform my parents, then do nothing else. I'm 13. I would call the police and CPS and let them deal with the abandoned baby. Not my kid, not my problem. I'm taking it. I'll say I had it at home and get a BC and name the father as unknown. I'd finally have a child. I'm going for it. I'm nursing now, so I would get a latch going, and then I would call 911 and relinquish it to the state, I suppose. But my fantasy answer is that we would raise it as one of our own. I would absolutely say yes to adopting a dropped-off baby. 2 hearts. Call the police, but I wouldn't keep the baby. It'd be illegal. As a single lesbian who desperately wants kids, but can't get pregnant, doesn't have a partner, and will be denied adoptions for that reason, I'd take it as a sign. I'd turn my life upside down to give the kid a loving home. Take him to the emergency room at the hospital and phone the police. If the missus found him first, I would be getting the crib down from the attic. And we would be keeping him. Call the police. Raise them in the cupboard under the stairs. Calling the cops. I'm not going to prison for kidnapping a child. Let foster care take care of it. I don't have kids or my own for a reason. Check for a lightning bolt scar and a cat. Is it an animal? If so, keep. Human police. Leave it outside. Stamp its forehead with return to sender and put it in the mailbox. eBay. Literally just saw this same post on the mildly infuriating sublol. Put it by my neighbor's door. Call the police and CPS and take care of it until it can be taken out of my life. I would call DHR and comfort them, look for any injuries. Then I'd pray they let me keep them. My husband and I want a baby so bad. I would freak the F out that someone is so heartless to leave a baby in the cold like that. Then call the cops. Yes, it will break my heart to have to hand it over to the authorities, but I don't have the mental capacity for another kid. Sorry, 3 is enough. This newborn trying to take my house? Better be ready to throw hands. Take it to a hospital. I don't do babies. Joke response, put it on someone else's porch. Their problem now. Real response, call 911. Call the police. They will come get the baby and hand it over to CPS, who will get it medically cleared, then place it in a foster home. And it's a baby, so it will be easily adopted. As a childless wench in her 40s, I'd take that baby in, spoil them rotten, and become the most annoying helicopter mom in history. Bring the infant into my home first. It's below freezing outside. Then call the police. While waiting for the police, I'll swab the infant's cheek for DNA. The parents better hope they don't show up on Ancestry. I'll have some things of my own to leave on their doorstep. We aren't in the 1800s. Call the cops. Yeet. Call the police and child services so they can take the child and place the child where they need to be. I definitely wouldn't ask Reddit. Call the police. I would wonder why the fuck a baby is on my doorstep. Then I would probably call the police or something. I would give it its own room, not the cupboard under the stairs, and pay attention to any new tabby cats who turned up around the same time. Give it my home, place myself on the doorstep of a nicer home to be given that one. I'm not opening my door, it's probably a Jehovah's Witness. I bring it inside, turn on the oven and baste it. I bet if you slow roast it the meat would fall off the bone. Baby meat. I already have 3 children, so the child would promptly be yeeted to CPS. Call the police and look after it till they get there. If Christmas movies taught me anything, you need to leave it at a fire station and they will grow up to be a firefighting Santa Claus. Straight to the nearest safe haven drop-off. I have 0 interest in raising children, which is why I don't have any. Since this isn't 1810, I would call the police. Panic. The police would be called. Fetus deletus. yeettethechchild. Nah, but in all seriousness, getting the cops involved. Push it off my property. Right into the blender. Free snack. Punt it like a football into the neighbor's yard. Cleanse it of Yahweh's evils and give it to the serpent. Start painting my house. Only need 100 more of them at least. You know, depends on how hard you throw 'em. Eat it. Free protein. Look down at the baby and awkwardly say oh no. No. No thanks. Then tap the no solicitor sign and quietly shut the door while avoiding eye contact with the baby. Call CPS lol. I'd love to take in a baby if I had the means to, but I really don't. Roll it down a hill. So cute. Bye bye. Thank God, cause my pit bull was getting hungry. Close the door and forget about it.